The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Tonight on DC News Now at 9, a Calvert County Sheriff's deputy is critically injured in a shooting. What we know about the suspect who was also shot following a traffic stop. Plus, improving public transportation in Frederick County. A look at changes proposed that could make it easier for residents to get around without breaking the bank. And tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. A look at the celebration near the White House. But first, here's meteorologist Scott Sumner.
All right, the clouds are clearing. We're seeing better skies out there this evening, but we're seeing cool temperatures. The temperatures are dipping down into the 20s in places. We'll talk about what to expect for tomorrow morning and beyond with my 7-day forecast.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 9. It's Sunday, December 18th. I'm Annalisa Gale. Developing right now, 2 people were taken into custody at the Tysons Corner Center after reports of people running in that area. Police say a firearm was recovered, and they are emphasizing right now that no shots were fired, but no further information was provided. We'll be sure to provide the latest information as soon as we learn more. Also tonight, a Calvert County Sheriff's deputy remains in critical condition following a shooting on Saturday.
Calvert County deputies were still investigating the scene earlier today, and neighbors tell me this is a quiet and safe neighborhood, but Saturday night turned scary when they learned what they thought was fireworks was actually gunshots.
It wasn't until later on when our neighbors said they were outside and they heard the gunshots. It sounded like fireworks and a bunch of yelling going on that we even put 2 and 2 together that those were the gunshots.
Around 9:30 Saturday night, Calvert County deputies conducted a traffic stop near Yellow Bank Road in Dunkirk. The sheriff's office says the driver, 21-year-old Brandon Alexander Turner, then sped off. And after nearly 9 miles, deputies were able to cut him off near this neighborhood in Huntington. That's when they say Alexander got out of his car and started running while firing at deputies. Deputies also returned fire, hitting Turner, according to the sheriff's office.
An active shooter who's armed in your neighborhood, it's scary, not just for us, but we're thinking about all the little kids that go outside and play after dark or people who walk at dark.
Turner is expected to be okay. Meanwhile, at last check, Senior Deputy James Flint is in critical condition.
We're thankful for the law enforcement that took care of the situation very quickly. Prayers for him and his family as he recovers, and we just hope something like this doesn't happen again.
Neighbors Bill and Melinda Gaines had a late night because of the police activity.
We had a company over and we literally couldn't get them out of the neighborhood because they had the road blocked off 10 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Because it was an active crime scene, so they kept it. There were lots of people that could not get back into the neighborhood, who had to go elsewhere overnight, and us that were in here, we could not get out.
They've lived in the area for more than 20 years.
Here in Calvert County, these things typically don't happen. Of course, we felt safe once we knew he was in custody, but it's just a really unfortunate situation all around.
The suspect is facing several charges, including attempted murder, and 2 deputies that were involved in the incident are now on administrative leave per their policy. Reporting in Calvert County, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Thank you, Yamari. Well, right now, people in Emmitsburg, Maryland, could soon see expanded shuttle services in the area. Transit Services calls it a lifeline service to make sure people get to where they need to go for free. But it needs Frederick County to fund that program. Frederick County reporter Michaela Newton has a look at this proposal.
Yeah, well, I spoke with Transit Services, who told me that they've heard from people in rural parts of Frederick County like Emmitsburg, and those people say that they want more access to shuttles. So that's why they're pushing for additional funding from the county.
Rural transit is not cheap to operate. It costs between $150 and $200 per hour. So we're looking for additional funding to help expand how we can serve the residents, especially of northern Frederick County.
The Frederick County Shuttle currently serves Emmitsburg and Thurmont and travels into downtown Frederick for free, something that started during the pandemic to increase the equity of the services. In a recent event held by the county's transit services, officials heard from people living in Emmitsburg. Neighbors asked for expanded shuttle service so riders could get around town during middays and on the weekends. Mount St. Mary's, a university in Emmitsburg, says it also wants improved services to shuttle students to and from campus and to jobs on the weekends.
We heard a lot about needing to access health care and employment, and certainly the way that people have traveled in Frederick County has changed a lot during the pandemic.
The county would have to pay for the proposed expanded services.
Grant funding is so important to how we operate. With available grant funding, for every dollar that the county spends, it gets $4 back in transit service. When there is no grant funding or no additional grant funding, the county must fund that entire $4.
Frederick County Executive Jessica Fitzwater has promised to provide budget hearings in each of the 5 council districts so the public can make suggestions. The County Council is expected to adopt the budget by May 31st of next year. For now, reporting in Frederick County, Maryland, I'm Michaela Newton for DC News Now.
Thanks, Michaela. Well, Frederick County will also submit a grant application to the Maryland Department of Transportation to continue covering the cost of providing free rides to older residents and those with disabilities. Well, this just in right now, Prince George's County Police are investigating a deadly hit and run involving a pedestrian on Kenilworth Avenue. It happened shortly before 1 in the morning. The man was found in the 5500 block following a crash there. They're asking anyone with information about that driver that sped off to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. And ahead of tonight's game, there was already a big win for thousands of fans and workers who were making their way out to FedEx Field. DC News Now's transportation reporter Joseph Olmo takes a look at the good news there for fans tonight traveling back from that game.
Yeah, the Commanders might be taking on the New York Giants at FedEx Field tonight, but they are teaming up with Metro. It is certainly going to be a late game, but the good thing is fans have one less thing to worry about once it is over, and that is because trains, take a look, are running an extra hour tonight only for fans who want to stay till the end of the game and use the Metro to get home. Now, heads up here. Only the downtown Largo and Morgan Boulevard stations will have their doors open after the game. All other stations in the network will be exit only. And the very last train will leave downtown Largo, headed to Franconia Springfield on the Blue Line at 12:28 in the morning. You got to think about it, guys. This isn't just a big deal for fans. It's also a big deal for those who work at FedEx Field, too. One less thing to worry about. And by the way, yeah, it costs money, believe it or not, to keep a transit system open longer than normal. The Commanders picked up the tab on this one, paying the $100,000 bill to keep all 97 Metro stations open just for an additional hour. How about that? Reporting here in the studio, I'm Joseph Olmo, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right. Well, most of us were sitting at the edge of our seats this morning as France faced Argentina in the World Cup final. In the end, Argentina won the 2022 World Cup final following a penalty kick shootout and a game that went into overtime. Star player for Argentina, Messi, now has 13 World Cup goals. Good for them. And as the holiday season is in full swing here around the DMV, tonight marks the start of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights. Hundreds gathered near the White House for the annual lighting of the menorah. One of the speakers was Attorney General Merrick Garland. The festive atmosphere, though, was slightly overshadowed by recent hate messages discovered around the DMV. Someone spray painting anti-Semitic graffiti at the entrance to Walt Whitman High School in Bethesda on Saturday. It's the second such message posted in Montgomery County since November.
We'll prevail. We've got to show our strength and just keep going.
It's a shame that people can be so evil. I attended the Holocaust Museum a couple of days ago, and it's just absolutely unbelievable that people can be that way towards another human just because of their beliefs being different than theirs.
Coming up at 10 p.m. on the CW, our Dave Laval tells us why anti-Semitism is still very personal to the U.S. Attorney General. We'll have more on that then. But it looked like a cold night out there, Scott.
Oh, yeah, everybody was bundled up. As a matter of fact, it's cold enough to have some snow showers in northwestern Garrett County here that just moved out of Friendsville and now moving up and towards Pennsylvania. Really, that's the leftover of what we have from our, I would say, last night as well as today's snow amounts. Now, you can see, crediting the National Weather Service for these numbers, near Frostburg, 3 inches over the last 24 hours. Accident out in Garrett County, 2.9 inches. Kaiser, 2.5 inches. Grantsville, 2.3 inches in West Virginia. Bayard, 1.3 inches in West Virginia. So, yes, there was some isolated snow amounts in the 1 to 3 inch range. Again, that is in higher elevations of the mountains. Now, With regards to our current wider view here of the DMA, again, the earlier snow showers that were in West Virginia that moved into parts of Virginia are dwindling, and now we really are pretty much clear of any sort of shower activity this evening. However, we're still a little bit on the breezy side. Winchester, 13-mile-an-hour wind, and when you factor in the temperature that's outside right now, it feels like it's 20 at Winchester, 20 at Martinsburg, and 20 up towards Hagerstown. So that fire looks good. Get by it tonight. And it'll be clear, a cold night ahead, sunny but breezy on Monday. Storms arrive on Thursday. And if you think tonight's cold, no. Bitterly cold Christmas weekend. We'll delve into it coming up. Annalisa.
All right, thanks, Scott. Still to come here on DC News Now at 9, a look at retail thefts happening across the state of Virginia, some hurting small businesses this holiday season. Plus, a look at how you could be saving some money this holiday season. We'll be right back.